Good morning, everyone. It is your daily crypto news for Monday, May 13th, 2024. My name is Matt. And before we get into it, please do us a favor. If you're on Apple Podcasts, click those 5 stars and leave us a comment. If you're on Spotify, open up your app and click those 5 stars as well. But what I really want you to do is join us on Substack. And I want you to do that because I want you to communicate with us. Give us feedback. Leave comments. Subscribe to our Substack at DCN Daily Crypto and our Twitter at DCN Daily Crypto. Now let's get into today's news. Following the historic approval of 11 spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds in January, we're now wondering when the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, will give the green light on an Ethereum spot ETF. Well, there's a lot of firms with S1 forms at the SEC, and you're probably wondering, who are they? Well, I'm here to tell you who they are. The first one is obviously BlackRock. The SEC must make a decision on their filing August 7th. Grayscale has an Ethereum spot ETF at the SEC. They have until June 18th to say either yes or no to that ETF application. Now, this is important because the SEC either approves or denies these applications. They also can delay them, and you can delay an application a couple times. But after a couple times being delayed, then it's either a hard yes or a hard no. If it's a hard no, they got to go back to the drawing board, amend the applications, and resubmit. But if they say delay, they can amend them and keep working with the SEC until they're approved. Moving on, ARK Invest has an application. Decision deadline is May 24th. Fidelity decision deadline is August 3rd. VanEck is May 23rd. Hashtag May 30th. Franklin Templeton, June 11th. And Invesco Galaxy Digital, approve, deny, or delay, July 7th. Now, again, remember what happened with Bitcoin spot ETF. If you go over to our Substack, you'll hear our weekly roundup, and I discussed this with Sarah quite a bit. But in a nutshell, when you're leading up to the Bitcoin spot ETF, what happened is there was a lot of organization behind the scenes. Everybody was trying to get their ducks in order, and the SEC was going to approve all of these spot ETFs at the same time so that one of the companies didn't get an unfair advantage. And that's what I see that's going to happen with the Ethereum ETF. I don't see that they're going to take this, $350 billion market cap asset and just go willy-nilly and approve these things separately. That's why they didn't do it with Bitcoin. And also, remember how much care they put into figuring out how to, just make this whole spot Bitcoin ETF work on the market. And I don't see them talking about this as much with the Ethereum ETF. Remember, Ethereum is not Bitcoin. And so it's proof of stake. And so there's a lot of different tokens that are built on that. And also, remember, a lot of tokens can be converted back into Ethereum. So what does that all mean for the Ethereum ETF? I don't think that discussion has been had, and I don't think that it's being had in a way that is going to make the SEC comfortable. So I don't know if this is going to be approved for a while. What do you think? Matt at dailycryptonews.net. Again, hopefully I am wrong. The founder of Shapeshift, his name is Eric Voorhees. Actually, a very smart dude. If you ever listen to some of his talks on YouTube, I think you'll be impressed. Well, he announced on Friday that there's going to be a public launch of his latest venture called Venice AI. And it's going to be a privacy-focused generative AI chatbot. As you know, if you're in the crypto space, you're pretty concerned with privacy. And so privacy is going to be the focus of Venice AI. He said, I know where AI is going, which is to be captured by large tech companies that are in bed with the government. I think I've been saying this for months on this show. He continues to say, that really worried me. And I see how powerful AI is. Large tech companies are often under the thumb of the government and act as gatekeepers to AI, something that could lead us to a dystopian world. The antidote is an open source decentralized AI, not giving the monopoly of power to anyone. Venice AI does not store user data and it can't see user conversations. See, Venice AI sends the input text through an encrypted proxy server to a decentralized GPU that runs the AI model, which sends the answers back. The GPU does not see the plain text of the specific prompt, and Venice AI does not see your other conversations. None of it is tied to your identity. See, the first thing I thought about when I was reading this article is I was like, man, this is going to be super expensive and super slow. The thing is with crypto, the thing is with decentralized systems is that Centralized systems are just faster and usually easier to use. And so how do you make this happen with this? Well, Eric was thinking about this as well. So I'm very happy that he said that if we wanted to bring private, uncensored AI to people, it has to be roughly the same performance as centralized companies. Because if it's not, people are just going to prefer the convenience of a centralized company. That is 100% true. I'm happy he's thinking about that. But the fact of the matter is, you can't make it, well, I don't know if you can't, but it's harder to make it and very much more expensive to make a decentralized system operate like a centralized system. And here's the thing, I hope we both agree on this, is that these new technologies, first of all, our privacy is getting eroded daily, and nobody's doing anything about it. The government, Congress, legislators, regulators, judges, nobody cares. It's the people like Eric Voorhees that is trying to fight about privacy. Then we have these technologies that are coming out that we see have the potential to be either very dangerous or also very beneficial. And I don't want to limit the power of these technologies, but I want to make them decentralized so everybody has the same power. But what we're seeing is the regulatory capture. We're seeing these companies buy up other companies. We're seeing the consolidation of this power and the government also being involved. So not only can companies and the government use the technology for their benefits, while honestly keeping the technology away from the people, so much so that we won't even know it exists, and then it's still being used. So we have to make a push for AI technology to be in the hands of the people. I am for this. What do you think? Matt at dailycryptonews.net. Elizabeth Stark, she's the developer behind Bitcoin's Lightning Network, and she's tested a protocol designed to enable stablecoins to be issued on the Bitcoin blockchain. She said, "I really care deeply about solving real-world problems," which is opposite from meme coins or gambling, she said, which I'm with you, Elizabeth. Lightning Labs technology is designed to eliminate the idea of cross-border and just enable people to transact globally. The concept of cross-border payments is something that we hear about a lot. Why should we even call it cross-border anymore? We don't have cross-border emails. We don't have cross-border text messages. I don't have to pay any fees to send an image to a friend across the world. And value on the internet and money should function the same way, which I think is an amazing point. Look, the world is getting smaller. We communicate with people around the world all the time. FaceTime, Zoom, text messages, memes, whatever. We communicate with people all over the world. We also need to be connected with money in a very seamless way. And I don't want to take this dystopian, sort of outlook of it. I've ordered things from abroad many times. You put your credit card in, it's connected with Stripe or Apple Pay or whatever, and you order something from the Netherlands, you order something from Germany, and then they ship it over to you. There is still a lot of friction there. And you know what? It costs these companies quite a bit of money to continue to operate that because of the Visa, the MasterCard profits. Then you have the middleman like Stripe or Apple Pay, and all of this stuff starts to add up. But she's 100% right. We can do this for fractions of a penny at this point, and there needs to be a more efficient way to do this. It's going to just fuel business. It's going to make global commerce a lot better. And we already do it with text messages, Zoom, FaceTime, memes, GIFs, whatever, all the time. So I think that's a really good point. In a new filing, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has asked the court to reject Coinbase's position that it be required to develop a new regulatory system for crypto. Coinbase had claimed in March in one of their filings that the regulator lacks statutory authority, adding that it is plowing ahead without congressional authorization and engaging in a power grab to enforce actions. Coinbase called the SEC's argument that the current registration process is workable. They said it's a fallacy, adding that Coinbase is confident that the court will see this for what it is. Isn't it absolutely insane that the SEC just will not sit down and try to work out new rules that fit this new currency or this new asset class? I mean, look, I don't know what's happening behind the closed doors. I don't know what's happening in the background. Maybe they did try to work it out, and Coinbase is actually being a lot more bullheaded than they're trying to appear to be. And maybe there's a lot of rationality behind a lot of things here, but it just appears that there is no discussion. It seems like they're lazy. And anybody who's worked in big organizations that have been around for a long time with a big old guard there, you understand, and honestly, you fight it every day in every organization. If it's public, if it's private, if it's nonprofit, you have these people that have been there forever. You have the way of doing things, in air quotes, and they just shut down every new idea. They don't care about the new people coming. They don't care about the way the world's changing. I mean, there are organizations I've been in that still don't have social media, and they're like, oh yeah, but this is how we do it. What the hell are you talking about? You make a product, you're trying to do a thing, you have a social movement, and you don't have social media, or you don't have anybody that understands how to actually work technology. It honestly pisses me off. And they don't see it because of the people in power. They have this old guard, and they have no ability to change their outlook on anything. I think the SEC is probably like that. I don't know. Again, benefit of the doubt, could be wrong, but I highly doubt it. The Tokyo-listed Metaplanet has adopted Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset as a hedge against Japan's debt burden and the resulting volatility of the Japanese yen. Metaplanet has acquired around $7.2 million worth of Bitcoin, and they're following the same strategy as MicroStrategy. See, the ratio between Japan's gross debt and gross domestic product currently exceeds around 260%. What are the top countries with the highest debt? Well, we have Greece at 177, we have Venezuela, Italy, and the United States is sitting at around 122% of their GDP. And because of the volatility of the yen and the amount of debt Japan has, people are a little nervous, rightfully so. The interesting thing is the United States looks at Japan and their debt, and not everybody, but a lot of people that want to argue for the United States debt not being a big deal looks at Japan and goes, hey, they're fine. Just keep adding debt. And so that's the excuse that's made to continue to drive up the debt of the United States. I want your opinion about this. Please reach out to us. And finally, there's an underground bank that just got busted by the Chinese police. They arrested 6 people involved in using cryptocurrency to provide an illegal currency conversion operation that handled something like $300 million. And this underground bank used domestic accounts to receive and transfer funds while exploiting the anonymous, borderless characteristics of the over-the-counter virtual currency trading to exchange between yuan, the Chinese yuan, and the South Korean won. So they're just being a bank and doing currency conversions. I don't know if you ever lived in China, which like I have, but to get money out of it is kind of hard. They want to keep all of their currency within China, so they make it very difficult for people to take money out. Foreigners, it's almost impossible. Chinese have a higher limit. I think it's like $50,000 a year, but $50,000 is not a lot of money. So every Chinese person with a little bit of money is trying to find interesting ways to get money out. And so that's why you can get $300 million underground banks operating within China. Now let's see those crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 10:20 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Fear greed's at 72. We're neutral. Bitcoin sitting at $63,000 even, up 2.9% in 24. Ethereum's at $2,969, up 1.2%. Tether's number 3. Binance is at $595, up 0.3%. And Solana's at $147, up 1.3%. Running off the top 10, we have USDC, XRP, Toncoin's up 3.4 at 724. Wow. Or 21% in 7. Wow. Dogecoin is up 6%. It's at 15.1. And Cardano is number 10. Total market cap is at 2.3 trillion. Bitcoin dominance of 53.8 and an ETH dominance of 15.5. That's our show. I hope you have a great day. Sarah will see you tomorrow, and I'll see you Wednesday. And until then, happy hodling, everyone.